Right, so as the Indian and South African teams gear up for this Test series in Johannesburg, we've got a man from Johannesburg who joins us in the all-new ESPN Cricinfo studio to preview the first Test match in this Test series. He's going to be with us on Match Point. You're going to see a lot more of him. But first, let's say hello. Welcome, Daryl Cullinan.
Thank you, Ronak. Good to be here.
First off, in South Africa, what's the reaction been with regard to this Test series coming down to just the two Test matches? Disappointment? How's it gone there?
It's been great disappointment. The build-up, as you say, was around arguably the best sides in world cricket right now in terms of Test cricket. And we were hoping to say a farewell to Tendulkar. He's played some of his best cricket in South Africa, but nevertheless saying that it's still a great series to be watching in terms of the challenges within the challenge. We've got some of the most exciting talent in world cricket on show, and we're looking forward to that.
You've been disappointed with the fight they put up in the one days, no tour match either. Where do they stand as they look forward to this first Test match?
I think only they will know. And it was disappointing to see the Indian side arrive. And you almost got to feel, perhaps it's got to do with the way that this whole series and the challenges ended up, that it's a bit of an exhibition sort of series for India, in a sense that it's just another stop in a very, very busy schedule. Let's kind of get through that. And it's put a bit of a dampener in terms of our expectations, and I hope that they won't go into this Test series with that sort of attitude, that they are up for the fight. Perhaps they've looked at and they've had to sort of cut their losses as the one-day series being part of their preparation, but that's common for sides now. There's no real build-up. They play against some sort of pickup side, and away they go. But coming from the subcontinent into South Africa, it's always going to pose challenges which you wouldn't normally find in too many other countries.
Now they enter Johannesburg. You know so much about the Johannesburg pitch and how quick it is. What's the biggest challenge that the Indian batsmen will face, and why is it that batsmen struggle so much, especially in Joburg?
Well, we struggle when we come here. So it's horses for courses. It's going to be about pace. It's going to be all about, and that's the build-up, how the Indian top order are going to do against South African pace attack. Right now, just quickly reflecting on the two sides, South Africa are hungry. You know, they haven't had a great start to the summer. They beat Pakistan, UAE, got dumped. And a lot of that anger and frustration, the public's got a few things, the media's been on their back a bit, questions asked about certain sort of players. So right now, in terms of preparation, the mental space, I think South Africa are ahead. Pace, getting back to your question, they know what to expect. But Alan Donald always said, it's not just about that pace. You've got to use it smart. You've got to be clever about it. It's those follow-up lines and lengths. The intimidation factor is one thing, but you've got to go about it very, very clinically. So there's South Africa. The test will be for them and the Indian batsmen in terms of how they're going to deal with it. It does offer you that extra bounce. Wonders, that's where traditionally sides have come, and South Africa have looked to soften them up. So it's straight into it, and it's a very intimidating environment. So not only on the field but off the field, just that part of India's game in terms of their batting, that they need to be very clear about how they're going to go about it. Technically, they're challenges. It poses challenges for all batsmen. If India bounce back with some good pace, good bowling, even for the South African batsmen, it's going to pose challenges. But there's nothing given there. You know, nothing asked. South Africa love playing at the Wanderers, and they will want to soften this Indian top order up, which, dare I say, it's rather limited in terms of Test match experience.
We don't associate South Africa with being an unsettled side. Are there any players in this team that come in with pressure? What's the local word like? What's the word in the media in South Africa back home?
Well, there's a young guy, Quinton de Kock, who started off brilliantly. Let's put that aside. Yes, it is one-day cricket, but there's no doubt his time is going to come in terms of Test cricket. We saw Smith leave the one-day squad. Kallis played, then didn't play. Du Plessis short of runs. Now, for the first time, I think, in a while, we've had the emergence of a young player with tremendous talent and potential. He still has to realize that. And is he ready for Test cricket? I personally don't think at this stage, but he's right there. So we've seen for the first time in a while where even the top players, even the Smith, may be under pressure. Because this guy will come in, he keeps, I don't know if he's good enough to keep yet at Test level. I'm sure he'll get there. But in saying that, their strength has been that they're pretty settled. But Peterson up front, a lot of talk about Smith and Khan. If anything, Peterson has shown a weakness against left-arm seamers, the ball coming back at him. So he'll feel it. He's had his moments in Test cricket, but it hasn't yet convinced us all to say, right, I'm here, 50 test matches under my belt, perhaps even more. Smith at the stage in his career hasn't played a lot of cricket. Gallis hasn't played a lot of late, but they're two great players. They, in my test team, any day, they're hungry, fit, want to play. Your first two picks. The other one is Du Plessis. Elgar was in the squad. They've opted for Du Plessis. He's got a lot of question marks about his cricket at the moment.
South Africa have announced their squad, and it seems like from the press conference that they had that Imran Tahir is going to be playing. How surprising is the inclusion of Tahir, but probably even pre-A, the fact that this squad has been, or the playing 11 has been announced about a day before the game?
You know, I was just thinking when we heard the news, if South Africa have ever done that before, where they've gone, is right, that's our 11 on the day. You don't want to pick 11 then suddenly change, because what are you trying to achieve by that? Maybe it's the confidence to say, right, we know who we're playing, or they're playing mind games with the Indian batting lineup, saying, right, here's Tahir. If you want to get away from the pace attack, take him on, which can backfire on them. He has bowled well of late, but he has shown in his first-class career, for example, that he can blow hot and cold. The pitch always comes into the equation in terms of what 11 are you going to play. So it's going to be interesting to see if it actually backfires in South Africa or not.
Daryl, thank you very much for looking forward to this game, and we look forward to having you on Match Point.